Hey guys, today in this video we're going to kind of go over some pretty general NetSuite navigation tips, that sort of thing. Yeah, let's get started. The main thing that you guys are probably going to use as far as if you're searching the system for anything is going to be what they call this bar up here. It's called a global search. Um, so to search from here, it's simply a matter of typing anything in. So anything that you can think of, as far as whether it be a customer name, you can do an invoice number. There's a whole lot of things you could search for, right? So if we were searching for a customer, let's use these guys as an example. So Combs Construction, you'll see that, hey, look, here's this customer. And you can kind of just go through and look for anything you want. One thing to note is that if for whatever reason you don't know the entire name, or you're thinking there are different kinds of spellings, that sort of thing, let me show you guys a couple of things to either limit the amount of things you're seeing or expand the amount of things you're seeing, right? In the old CRM, our wildcard was the asterisk, right? So we used to use the asterisk a lot and then type in whatever it is we were looking for. Well, in this system, they have a very similar wildcard, and theirs happens to be the percentage sign. So similar to what we were doing earlier, if I wanted to bring up anything with the word test in it, you're going to see, obviously, I have a ton more results here. This wildcard says, bring me anything that has test in the name. So that's one way to do a super general search. If you have something that you want and you're searching for and it has to be an exact match, if you do the parentheses, let's see. I hope this is one. Let's see. Okay. So I'm saying if it does not exactly match this, and these are not case sensitive, so if I want to see exactly only things with this in my search, if I type the parentheses, that's just means exact match. So it's giving me, as you'll see, all the different kinds of things that you can have here, whether that be a customer, different opportunities, and contacts. If you want to get more specific about something, let's say you wanted to search for a customer in particular, so the customer profile. You could start by doing, and then, so this is only going to give me customers, right? And I can click here and it'll take me to a secondary page that shows me a lot more results. But keep in mind, right? So if I had only pushed C, and then what you're seeing is not only do I get customers, but I also get cases that have been created in our system that have test in the name. So same thing you can do for invoicing, for instance. If I had invoices I wanted to look at, or inventoried items, that sort of thing, right? So these are a couple ways that you guys can get more specific in what you're looking for. One other nifty thing that you can look for is if you're not certain about what the spelling potentially of a customer's name, instead of typing two separate searches, you could put in something like and you notice I do or in capital. So it's giving me anything in our system with, let's say I did that. It's bringing up anything with COME or COMB, right? So all you have to do is kind of type in this or with a capital, and it'll allow you to search for multiple things at the same time. You can do even 3, right? So if I wanted to do an additional one, I could do here and then type in one more if I really wanted to, but that makes it more complicated. Anyway, those are a couple of the really basic ways to search our system. I think if you play around with it, I think you guys will find it's pretty easy. So yeah, next thing I want to show you guys as far as the general navigation. You guys will be using this part quite a bit. This is our short, I guess they're calling it a shortcut. And what you'll notice is because it has this plus sign here, it indicates, that plus sign indicates that it's something brand new. So it's a shortcut to create all of these particular kinds of things. You guys will use these quite a bit to create brand new leads, tasks, opportunities, all that sort of thing, right? If you have all this, this is an easy way to kind of get there. You can personalize this simply by clicking here if there are things that you want to add here as you continue to use the system and you think there's a couple things that would be advantageous for you. By all means, you can personalize and add it there. The next part is here on the menu bar. You'll see this little clock here, and this is all the recent records that you've been looking at, right? So you can kind of go through here and quickly get back to what you were looking at. This system is a little bit more, I don't want to call it hover based, but it's not super reliant on you clicking on things, right? So as you hover through particular, either whether it be any of these datas or even within the rest of the menu bar, as you hover, you don't need to click on anything. As you hover, it opens up a lot more possibilities, right? And until you get to the place where you want, and usually it's going to ask you if you want to create a new one or have a specific search, that sort of thing, then that's when you would do a final click, right? But until then, everything's kind of more hover based. And so you just hover through your system until you find what you want. But here's something that's really interesting about doing this. So I could click here and get into the account, but then I'd still have to hit edit. But if I hover through here, it'll let me edit that account right away. So it just saves you an extra click. Doesn't really matter, but you know, it's something that may or may not be useful for you guys the more you guys use this system. The next thing I want to show you, see, like you saw, I actually clicked edit, and so I'm allowed to edit this automatically. The other thing is, okay, so that's going to be all your recent records. This is a favorites menu. So you might be thinking that this is your favorites, but that's not technically your favorites, right? The nice thing about this favorites menu bar item is that you can add shortcuts to any whole plethora of things. So in our old system, for instance, if you had a particular view of, let's say, your opportunities that you liked to look at or anything like that, when you're in that page, for instance, let's kind of come through here, and if we go through transactions and opportunities, this is what we'd call, this is just a view of different opportunities, right? And I have this one set up the way I like it, but you know, you guys will have things, whatever. Anyway, this is the view that I personally prefer. So because of that, I might want to have that as my shortcuts instead of coming through here, going through transactions, and then clicking on opportunities to get this search, right? So this is like a saved view, we'll call it. So if I want to make sure that I can come to this as often as I want without having to go through multiple steps, I can add it to my shortcuts. And I'm just going to call it opportunities. And it says open in a new window. That's my preference, but you don't have to add that. And it doesn't actually mean a whole new browser box, but instead it actually means a new tab. So I'm going to go ahead and save that. And I'm going to come back to my home page and show you guys just kind of how it works. So as I hover over here and I click on opportunities, because I clicked new window, it's actually going to open it in a brand new tab for me. So I can come back through here and still do whatever I was doing, but this is now available to me. And you can add as many of those as you want. So yeah, that's a basic function within the system. I think you guys will find it pretty useful. And as we progress, I can help you guys to either create your own custom views, how you prefer to look at your data, or we can have a couple options available for you guys that everyone just has access to. So just keep in touch with me if there's any preferences that you have. I'd be more than happy to help create a custom view for you, whether it be in opportunities, leads, your customers, anything that you guys are working on. Um, Everything else in this system is it's relatively intuitive. For instance, if you wanted to create an activity, let's say it was a phone call or an event or even a task for yourself, it's really all about kind of hovering through here, right? As you hover through, it'll take you to, you can search through your tasks or create a new one. Once you guys get more used to this system, I actually think you guys will be more inclined to kind of just utilize this shortcut here for the creation of new documents. But yeah, so everything else is kind of, like I said, a little hover based, and it's, once you guys get used to it, it's all pretty standard. If there are any other things that you guys would like to know, by all means, just give me a shout out. I'd be more than happy to continue to update any of the documentation that we have to help support you guys as we do this transition. So that's all I got for you. Thanks, guys. Reach out to me if there's anything I can help with.